Thanks for stopping by the channel. Today we're going to talk about Ranger Raptors and the trombone loop that we all know that they should have came with. Stay tuned. We're going to get this thing built out and we're going to give you all the information that you need. Diameter, radius sizing, even a link on where I bought my parts so you can use those and reference them for your own. But what we want to do is we want to talk about why the trombone loop is so important. On the 3-liter V6, it is not equal length exhaust. It's just like a Gen 2 Raptor. There's a company that makes the trombone loop for the Gen 2. They don't make it for the Ranger. And there's a lot of talk that it's coming out eventually at some point. But it's also only going to be sold with their, I think, whole exhaust system is something I've seen on the forums. Who knows? Whatever. They need to make it and just sell it to everybody. But today in this video, I'm going to talk about and show you what I did to make the trombone loop and make these exhaust pipes equal length before the main muffler. Utilizes all the factory stuff, fits perfect, no issues. It's the way these trucks should have came. Hopefully a company will make it in the future. But if you got a welder and you got a grinder, or maybe a friend that has a welder and a grinder and, you know, needs some beer or a couple bucks, you know, definitely throw your local mechanic some cash to do this for you. But in this video is all the information. We're also going to do sound clip. Stay tuned. Super excited for this. Hope you guys enjoy the video. So I got some angle pipe here, pre-bent. I went with this style. I ordered 2 of them just so I'd have some extra. I knew this was the radius that I was thinking I was wanting, and the angles. It was much easier just to order 2 of these same ones and get them in plenty of time. But essentially, we're gonna cut this right here, and then we'll cut this down here. And what we're gonna do is we'll trim this up, weld that in there, and then bring the other 90 back and finish it up in there. So we'll have to figure out where we wanna cut this, where we wanna cut that. All this keeping in mind that we want to extend it a certain amount of length. That length on there, we're looking at about 600 millimeters. That 600 millimeters will equalize the other side. So that's what we're going for. So we want to take this passenger side one, we're going to equalize it to the length of this one. And that's about 600 millimeters based off the research I've done, taking in consideration the length that we took out and what we're putting back in. So to really fine tune that, it's probably going to take a little cutting and grinding. I got a pipe cutter from Harbor Freight. If you can put this in a vise, I think it works really well. But I think mostly what I'm going to use it for is to mark a perfect line and then just go in with my cut-off wheel and zip that. Do a little cut right here, a little cut right there, and then we'll probably have to do a little angle to kind of add that up, but that's kind of what I got this for. So that way I can kind of cut out of that to when we come in this way, cut that, and then utilize this angle to match up with that. So that's why I went with this design, to have that nice angle right in there. So we got that first cut made, kind of just right in front of the factory weld. All right, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and save this just in case this all sounds terrible and we want to go back to stock, but all right, well, there it is. Got the whole thing welded up. Looked really good. You know, as you saw, just using hand tools, a grinder, cut and shape these parts. Definitely a lot of work in that. There's better tools to use, but I was kind of just wanting to show what it would look like just doing it in your garage, whipping it together on a Saturday. You know, simple tools, obviously, other than having a welder. I'm gonna go through and kind of show you the way to kind of measure the idea of what additional tubing we added on there. Our goal was, I think, about 600 millimeters. So I have an old charging cable. I'm gonna take essentially a string, and you can kind of run it and then measure that out once you run it through. So I'm gonna show you how to do that here in just a minute. All right, the idea is I got this, right? I measured out 600 millimeters is roughly 23.9 inches. So measured out roughly 24 inches here. Now this isn't exact science, but what you would essentially do is say, starting right there, run that around, and run that around. And that's kind of like the idea of it, of where the system works. I mean, that's really, you get the idea. We basically added roughly 24 inches. It's really close. Now we're gonna put it all back together. We'll get some sound clips, see what it sounds like. Compare them to the ones we took earlier. All right, here we go. Here is the trombone loop installed. Plenty of clearance. There's a lot of room under here for this loop. It was, yeah, pretty easy installation. Getting it back in, no issues. Trombone loop, it's on. Super excited about it. It's in sport mode right now. First time pulling out of the garage, so we'll see. I don't know. It literally just sounds normal right now. Obviously, we didn't make the exhaust any louder. We just equaled length the pipes. But I'm really excited. This is first impressions, so we'll let truck warm up a little bit. We'll do a little loop, go up and down the road. Let's put it in normal. That way we don't give anything away too quick. Really just sounds like a normal Ranger right now, which we know it's not. How many of you have maybe had a Gen 2 and went to the Gen 3? What were your thoughts on that exhaust? I personally had a Gen 2 or a Gen 3 and loved the factory exhaust system. That was like one of the selling points, to have an exhaust system that I could start up in quiet mode, but also have, you know, all the way up to full-on Baja mode, which, man, that was one of my favorite things about it. I really missed that. When I went to the Ranger Raptor, I missed the exhaust note. Now, of course, this is a 3-liter. We're not getting extra displacement, but you know what we can get? We can get just a smoother sounding exhaust note. And I really think that's what's gonna do it, because they have that for the Gen 2s. And now I've made one for the Ranger Raptor. At 129 degrees right now. Even in just a normal mode, sport mode, but normal exhaust mode, just a little acceleration, man, I feel like I'm back in my Gen 3. It is such a smooth exhaust note. It's really how it should have been. You gotta do this. You gotta do this. It's good. It's smooth. All right, I'm going to where I filmed some sound clips this morning. Same place, only difference is it's not raining this time, so that's a plus. But I'm gonna go through there, give it kind of the rev up in normal, the rev up in or quiet, normal, sport, Baja,